Ryan Anderson here, the driver of Son of a Digger. You're watching Rod Rod's Championship League.
What's going on, everybody? Project Rod here, and it is time for the start of the Showdown Champions League, and we're going to be starting with Tour Blue, a 10-truck tour here for the Showdown Champions League. Tour Violet will be the stop for next week, but this tour right here, is a 10-truck tour filled with familiar faces as well as new faces here on the channel. Here are the rules for qualifying. Every driver is going to get 2 chances at qualifying. There will be no turbo used during qualifying. If it is used, it will result in a disqualification. Ramps, finish ramps, and smoke gates must have both front tires within the smoke or ramp edge in order to avoid a 3-second penalty. So we're going to be a little not too lenient. We're going to be as strict as we can, but some of these angles are hard to see. So we're just going to have to see what happens as we progress with this competition. Now, it's time for April Summers in Monster Jam Dalmatian. No stranger to the channel. She's been here before, and she's rocking the truck that gave her her name, that made her name here on the channel. And we're going to see what she has in store here in the Showdown Champions League, hoping to make a name for herself here as well. So far, so good. Staying within the smoke gates. A little out of the lines, but that's not a problem at all. Being outside of those lines does not matter unless it's a ramp or, again, the smoke gate. So 21.025 for April Summers in Monster Jam Dalmatian for her first time. So that is the time to beat, as she has one more time to get a better time, or one more chance to get a better time, and then we have 9 more trucks to go. So she's lining up and ready to go, or already going, for the second attempt and staying within those smoke gates. And this is a relatively easy track to maneuver around, so there shouldn't be too many errors. See, like right here, she's trying her best to stay with that speed, and that right there may cost her. We're going to have to take a look at a replay, I'm sure, to make sure that she wasn't outside of the smoke gate. So we're waiting to see what's going to happen. Here's a slow-mo, and as you can see, the angles aren't the best, but you can see the tire tracks, and right there, she is within the smoke gate, so just barely making it by, and her final time for her second attempt is a 20.555. So she is your current leader, as we have 9 more trucks to go. And here we go, another familiar face to the channel, to all the competitions here. Angel Garcia driving Brutus here in the Showdown Champions League. Let's see what he has in store. Again, this track isn't the most difficult track. There's definitely way more in this tour, both Tour Blue and Tour Violet, that are pretty difficult with sharp turns and different jumps and all that. So this one's relatively easy, but there's still plenty of room for error, as there is with any other track. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a replay here. Again, a really close call. But you can see right there, he's right on top of the smoke gate, which is fine. As long as you're not outside of the smoke gate, you're good. But look right here, he managed to be on top of the smoke gate twice on each one. So he's good to go, no penalty. 20.850 is the time for Brutus and Angel Garcia. So not enough to beat April Summers, but still a pretty good time. He has one more opportunity to try to beat April Summers, so we're going to have to see what he has in store. But again, as we progress in the season, again, we have 5 stops in each tour. Before we get to World Finals, we're going to have a last chance qualifier, as well as the regular World Finals event. We're going to have qualifying racing skills, best trick, and a freestyle. So we're going to get to the description of those competitions as we progress in this season, and then after the first stop, we'll get familiar with what these competitions are and what they entail. So second attempt is done, and a 22.120 for Brutus. So not enough to beat April Summers. She's still currently hanging on to that lead. Here comes Taz 2009 in higher education. Let's see what he has in store for us here. Somewhat of a familiar face. He's been here before under a different name, but no stranger to the channel. And he's looking to excel here in the Showdown Champions League, hoping for a great season and hopefully a win, whether it be a tour win or a World Finals Championship. We're going to have to wait and see. Here we go. The first stop is done, or the first run for qualifying is done and in the books, and a 21.255 for Taz 2009 in higher education. Good enough for third place at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for the second one. And looks like we're going to have some issues here. No, higher education is going to get a DNS. He's not going to be able to compete here in this second attempt. So he is done for the competition. That's going to be his only time, as Steel Titan and Black Pearl comes up to the line to get ready for his attempt. And I'm hearing that higher education is just having some issues, not sure what it is. He's going to get refired, and they went ahead and took it back to the pits to get him ready for racing. So we're going to move on. At least he got one time on the board, and that's what matters. It beats only getting 1 point for having a straight DNS all throughout the competition, so it's still something. We're going to have to wait and see, but Steel Titan and Black Pearl finishing his first run, and we're going to have to see what his time is going to be. And is it enough? And it is going to be enough. 9.974 for his first time, so he is a new leader, knocking out April Summer. So Steel Titan is on top at the moment, although there are 6 more competitors to go. Again, Steel Titan, a newcomer to the series, to the channel. Looking forward to see what he has in store this season, and I'm sure there's going to be nothing but great things from this guy as well as everybody else in this competition. I'm so hyped and ready to go, and I can't wait to see what this season is going to bring. So make your predictions down below on who you think is going to be the winner of each tour and your World Finals champions now, and then we'll revisit at the end of the season. So here we go, 19.636, so an even faster time for Steel Titan and Black Pearl. But here comes another familiar face to the scene, Cecily96 in Lucas Stabilizer, jumping in to Lucas Stabilizer after she was going to take a break. She was done after the last competition. She was done driving. She wasn't going to come back, but unfortunately the driver who was behind the wheel of Lucas Stabilizer before the season even started was unable to make it, unable to drive this season. So she decided to step in and take his spot, and right there, unfortunately, a mistake. And hopefully it doesn't cost her too much. It might, but she has another attempt, and that's what matters. That's why you get 2 attempts, just in case you mess up on one. You still have the other right there, a 23.591. So not the best time, but one more opportunity for her to get a faster time, and it's going to be tough to beat that 19.636 that's on the board by Steel Titan in Black Pearl. So second attempt is already in effect, and again, pretty simple track, but it can slip you up pretty easily. Look like right there, that turn. Just, you may come in a little, or you may turn a little too early or turn a little too late, and that ruins the whole thing. It's just an oval, basically, but still, any little mistake can cost you your entire run. So here we go. The time is going to be a 22.256 for Cecily96 and Lucas Stabilizer. So not the best qualifying time and not enough to take the lead, but still on the board, not a bad time. We're going to move on to the next competitor, who's worst COD player in Son of a Digger. And again, no stranger to this channel either. He's been here in the past all the way from the beginning. Of course, under a different name, but he's here now under this name. And he's here to make a name for himself and hopefully come out on top. Right there, that may be an issue, and he's bumping into the bicycle ramp. So hopefully that doesn't slip him up too much, but he may be facing a penalty. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see and take a look at a replay right here. It's quite questionable. No, he is within and kind of on the smoke gate, which is fine. Again, that is allowed, but right here, that slip up there may have cost him some time, but no, a 20.845. So didn't cost him as much time. Who knows? Maybe if he didn't clip it, it may have given him a better time. I don't know. It slowed him down. Maybe it didn't. Who knows? But still not a bad time, and he avoided the penalty, and that's what matters as he's already going ahead on his second attempt. And I'm not sure. He kind of cut it close there. Right here, slowing down again. Simple track, but any little mistake can cost you your entire run. So we'll see what this next time is, and almost coming close to clipping that other bicycle ramp, but avoiding it, and he's going to finish his second attempt. But is it going to be enough to knock out the Steel Titan? No, 20.956, a little bit slower than his first time, but still not a bad time. So here comes Driftboy912 and El Toro Loco. Again, another familiar face and a previous champion here on the channel, looking to rock it here in the Showdown Champions League, but already some trouble. I believe he does have a 3-second penalty right off the bat. So an unfortunate outing for El Toro Loco. He's going to finish. He's going to go ahead and get that time on the board, but he will be facing a penalty from what I can tell. We'll look at the replay, but I feel like it was pretty obvious that he will be getting a penalty, and here we go. There it is right there over the gates. It was pretty easy to see and pretty unfortunate. 24.992 for El Toro Loco and Driftboy912 in his first attempt. But again, this is why you get 2 attempts. You have another opportunity to make up for any past mistakes or any past hiccups. Right here, hitting the turn a little too hard, going a little wide, and hopefully it doesn't cost him too bad. His time would have been a 21.995 had it not been for that 3-second penalty. So Seeing what the second one brings, cutting it close, but staying within the smoke gates, and he should be good to go. He's going to finish the second run pretty cleanly, and we're going to have to wait and see what the final time is going to be, and a 22.992 for Driftboy 912 and El Toro Loco. Not enough to take the lead. Here comes Pilar89. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, please feel free to correct me, but Pilar89 in Megalodon, a new face to the channel. And again, another truck and driver that I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in store. Again, 19636 is the time to beat by Black Pearl and Steel Titan. And so far, he's the only one that was close to his time. The first one was a 19.9 something. So let's see how close he can get as we wait for the final time. And a 20.605, so a great time, but not enough to take the lead away from Steel Titan. So again, one more opportunity to get that better time, and we're running down to the end of the competition as well. There's only a few trucks left, so Steel Titan is sitting in a very good spot right now as he may take the first competition win of the season. So Megalodon so far pretty clean in his second attempt and looking kind of fast. So we'll wait and see what the final time is, coming in a little sideways, but making it in legally. So here it goes, and a 20.221, so faster, but not fast enough to take the lead as Monster Mud and Little Drift 912 comes onto the track. And again, a newcomer to the scene, a new face to the scene, to the channel, but they are related to a familiar driver here. This is actually a relative, a sibling to Driftboy 912. So we're gonna have a sibling rivalry in Tor Blue. But wait until you see what we have in store in Tor Violet, as we're gonna be having husband and wife go against each other in that Tor. But we'll get to Tor Violet when we get there. We're gonna be taking a look at a replay here, as though, although she was close to getting a penalty, she will not get it, as it was right on top of the smoke gate right here. Again, close again, but right inside of it. So she's good to go. 21.339 for Little Drift 912 in Monster Mud. A second attempt now, hoping to get a faster time, and let's see what she has in store, as I believe she's the second to last truck. I believe we have one more truck to go before the end of this competition, so one more truck in the way of Steel Titan getting the first competition win of the season. So here we go. So far so good. Trying to avoid the bicycle ramp, and she avoided it, but going a little too wobbly there towards the end. So let's see if that's going to affect her time in any way. And a 21.838 for Little Drift 912 and Monster Mud, so not enough to take the lead. And we have one more truck left, a newcomer to the scene. It's Firefly in Gravedigger the Legend. The last truck in the way of Steel Titan, again taking the first competition win of the season. So let's see what's going to happen. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but we're in Death Valley for this competition, so my mistake for not mentioning that earlier if you didn't notice already. But we're in Death Valley. Next stop is going to be in Colorado, but we'll get there when we get there. We're barely in qualifying. A hiccup there out the last turn. So how much is that going to cost them as we take a look at a replay here? May have taken a little too much. No, he's within. So no penalty there for Gravedigger the Legend. 22.285 though, as he got a little too crazy on that last turn, and I'm sure that may have cost him. So here we go. It's now the final attempt for Firefly in Gravedigger the Legend. Let's see if he can beat Steel Titan's time. Steel Titan is in a very good spot right now, getting those first 10 crucial points of the season. But Gravedigger the Legend has to put down a really crazy fast time if he wants to beat him. 19.636 is the time to beat. And let's see, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think we do have our fastest qualifier of this competition. There it is, 21.707 for Gravedigger the Legend. It's not going to be enough. Steel Titan and Black Pearl is your fastest qualifier here in Death Valley for the first stop of Tor Blue. So this is the leaderboards for qualifying. It's Black Pearl, Megalodon, Dalmatian, Digger, and Brutus. And then the bottom five are Higher Education, Monster Mud, Gravedigger the Legend, Lucas Stabilizer, and El Toro Loco. This is going to mimic the leaderboards for the Tour as well as the leaderboards for the Overall Event Championship. This is the W Racing bracket, so be sure to use code Project Rod to receive 10% off of your W Energy order. Be better with W Energy. Black Pearl getting an amazing buy run, getting automatically put into the semifinals. Again, this is the overall leaderboards for the tour. It's going to match everything up until we get to the second stop. That's when things are going to get a little different. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the overall event championship leaderboard right there. Again, Black Pearl on top. Everything's going to mimic as we continue with this tour. So the next competition is going to be racing. We're going to see who our first racing winner of the season is. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Monster Jam Showdown action. I'm Project Rod, and we'll see you in the next one.